Okay, good morning everyone, welcome to the next Key Stage 3 GCSE lesson. We're going to be looking at substituting into formulas today, looking at some real life uses of algebra because it is a brilliant thing to be able to do. It's a great thing to use and we use algebra all the time, it's all over the place. You might just not realise it all the time. So we're going to start with the warm-up questions as usual. Okay, so 5 questions there to have a go at. Hopefully these will be nice and straight forward. We'll go through these in a bit, so I'll give you 5 minutes to correctly answer those. These are the kind of questions that you need to just be getting right every time. Every time when they come up in your exams or anything, you need to say, I'm going to get these right without making any silly mistakes at all. If some of you have not done some of this yet, that's fine. But if you've done this, you need to be getting these right. Okay, whatever grade you want to be getting, these are the banker questions. Okay, any questions, let me know.
Just started.
Anyone just coming in, we'll just start with our warm-up questions and then we'll move on to the topic, which is algebra, formulas, some tough substitutions and looking at some real life uses of it in business. Good morning again, Victoria. Right, yeah, time for your homework. You've got a video to watch first. Go ahead. Okay, just another, we've got loads to do today, so just another minute on these questions. As I said in an earlier post as well, I'm just going to be going down to one of these GCSE Key Stage 3 lessons a week. There is another person doing some lessons which I did put on the group. I think someone's saying Charlotte Griffin, I'm not sure if that's your name or your mum's name. She's saying it was good, it was very much exam questions based, he did some trigonometry, definitely GCSE work, so you know, you can have a look at those are every Wednesday. Bit different to these. And yes, I have had a haircut to raise some money for the NHS. A friend of mine that's a teacher is doing some money. You cut your own hair and then you donate the money you save to the NHS. I was not expecting it to be this short though. Right, let's go through these questions. So, first one, simplify this fraction. I know we did this last lesson, but I put this on to make sure you don't make a silly mistake and think and just stop when you can. So you start by halving, and that's what most people do. They halve it and they get to 12 out of 15. Don't then stop because you can't halve it anymore. There are plenty of other numbers to try. 3 goes into 12 and 3 goes into 15, so it's going to be 4 out of 5. You can divide them both by 3. Okay, question 2. What is this correct to one decimal place? This is a rounding question. This does not mean times it by 10. So the answer is not 36.812. You are not timesing it, you are rounding it. So you are rounding it, there goes your rounding line because that's one decimal place, and you look at the number after the 6, which is an 8. So that 6 is going to go up to a 7 because it's closer to that. So question 2 is 3.7. Question 3. A square has an area of 36 centimetre squares. What is the length of each side? I always think it helps to draw a diagram. So there's your square. You know the area is 36. That's the inside. So you're not just dividing that by 4. You are thinking about what number times is by itself, because they're both the same, to give you 36, or you square root it. The answer's got to be 6 centimetres for all the sides. So make sure you know your area and perimeter. Don't get those mixed up. 3.6 metres, 2 centimetres. You need to know a lot of conversions for metric units. Those are the ones to do with 10, 100, 1,000. And you need to be thinking about, to get from centimetres to metres, there are 100 centimetres in a metre. So you're going to be doing 3.6 times 100. Look, wrong one. So that's 6 centimetres. 4, you're going to be doing 3.6 times 100, which gives you 360 centimetres. And finally, question 5, subtractions. You know how to do them, but people get careless when they're doing these. Use a column method. And when you set it up, when you're doing your 41.4 take away 8.18, the decimal points go on top of each other. I'd always add an extra 0 in for working with decimals, and then when you do 0 take away 8, you're not writing down 8. This is where you do the borrow from next door thing. I'll just change colour. So you're going to go, this one will go down to a 3, and that 1 goes across, so it's 10 take away 8 is 2, 3 take away 1 is 2, 1 take away 8 is another one where you need to borrow from there, so 11 take away 8 is 3, 3 take 0 is 3, 33.22. Try not to make silly mistakes with that. Okay? Right. So, on to the next bit of the lesson, on to looking at some algebra. Even if you have not done algebra before, I'm sure you will have. This is a good introduction. There's also going to be some challenging questions to work on as well. So we're going to understand how to substitute into expressions, use algebraic formulas to solve real life problems, and we're going to be creating some formulas to help with real life problems. So we're going to be creating some of your own formulas and expressions, which can be a very difficult thing to get to grips with. Okay? Right, so first things first is to just make sure you understand what these letters are. These letters could be anything. They are called, in computing or in other parts of life, variables they could be called. They're variables because they can change to anything at all. So if this was in, say, a video game, X could be the speed of your car. Y could be, we've got a Mario Kart here, Y could be how many coins you picked up, because that makes you go faster. So all these things will change, they'll alter to make sure the game works. We need these variables. 7 is a constant, that will never ever ever change. So that could be the track you're racing on, that determines how much speed you get. Okay, the surface of the road. Whereas these will be things that you can change yourself by what happens on that race. So those are variables, these are constants. So an expression is a combination of letters of unknown variables and maybe constants as well. It could just be letters you don't know. So these have no value, but I could give them a value. So if I told you this, where's my whole clock? Okay, and you can post this on the chat now. Okay, if I told you that X equaled 12 and Y equaled 8, can you tell me the value of X plus Y plus 7? Post it on the chat, please. So if X equals 12 and Y equals 8, can you tell me the value of X plus Y plus 7 of that expression? Okay, brilliant. So, X plus Y plus 7. Just first of all, we are not simplifying here. So, Gracie has put 7xy. That would be simplified. And also, you're not simplifying this. That is simplified already, because X plus Y plus 7 is as simple as it gets. This means multiply, which we'll get on together. So when you are asked to work out the value, you are replacing all of the letters with the numbers you've got. So we are replacing X with 12, we are replacing Y with 8, and then we are plussing on our constant at the end, 7. If you add those together really carefully, your answer is 27. Not 27x, not 27xy, just 27. So when we are substituting, we are replacing the letters with the numbers. Okay, so that's a very basic one, and then onto this one here, and then we'll get to some much more difficult ones after that. So, really important, when you've got a letter next to a number, it means multiply, it means times. This means 7 times x. You can even write a little times sign between them if you want. This means 7 times x. Okay? So, if I told you that x equaled 12, what is the value of 7x? Remember, it means multiply. Post that on the chat as well, please. Okay.
Yeah, I've done my first.
Yeah. Okay, there we go, brilliant. Okay, so on this one, we are going to be multiplying them together. We would do for our 7x, we would do 7 times 12, which gives you 84. Okay, so basic algebra. Now we're going to mix this up now with quite a few of these. Going to put some more letters in, and we're going to be thinking about bid maths with this as well. Bid maths is always important in algebra. So what I want you to do, I'm telling you that A is 2, B is 5, C is 3. Can you find the value of these 12 different questions? Okay, the 12 different questions. Can you work at the value of each one? You want to be going down this way. So go downwards, they get harder as you go onto this side here. Okay? Some difficult questions here. And you can probably see this is quite similar to the sequence work we've done. I'm just stepping it up in the difficulty of the algebra here. But this is the thing, algebra comes up in so many different topics in your exam. And as you'll see later on, a lot of real life topics as well. Remember, for the first one, we are not doing A plus B. Anything next to each other, you are multiplying. So this is A times B. Anything you are multiplying together. Okay, so think really carefully about it. Anything next to each other means multiply. So this is definitely not A plus B. This is A times B. Yeah, I'd go down. It doesn't really matter, but I'll just write on the TV. I always get told off for this. Okay.
What does anxious mean?
Anxious means I'm worried. Anxious. I am aware that is not a mistake, questions 2 and 3. I'm just trying to get you to think about number, to think about the different operations, think about how timesing, dividing, multiplying, squaring, how everything works all together. I have ordered a microphone as well, so the sound quality will hopefully get better in these lessons. Yep.
I can't write. You've done something wrong. Did you say it here? My pencil won't go through it. I'm not picking it up.
so if you do something naughty, you say, tell me one something instead. Do you like it? Tell me naughty. Okay, we all okay? Anyone stuck in anything? Be very careful with the last ones. I think some tough ones there as well. Don't get 8. Okay, so it's a double negative. So we haven't done negative numbers. We might do a lesson to do with this. But if you're unsure about that for now, you're going to have to skip that one out for now. Okay, I will go through it in a bit. I'm not going to give it away for everyone. But yeah, those are tricky. Negative numbers are very difficult. Okay, so those ones can be very confusing for our brains. These ones are tough as well. And the last one, I'd write it out first. So you're going to write out your 5 with a little 3 and think about if you know what 5 with a little 3 means. Okay, that's another kind of GCSE question you need to be happy with using. Right, if you finish those, I'm just going to put one more really tricky negative number one on the board. Okay, so one more really tricky on the board. Have a go at this one, please. We're going to go with... Okay, so there is an exceptionally difficult question on the board there for you to have a go. So we'll call that question 13. Very challenging. Good luck with that one there. So w squared minus 3wy all over 2. Okay, so there's 2 more minutes on these questions. If you've got an answer for that, please post that one in the chat. You don't need to post those, but please post that. I don't even know the answer yet. I haven't worked it out, so I'm looking at it now, but I'm going to struggle to work that one out in my head. There's some really tough negative number work there again. Remember this line here, all that means is divide. That's all a fraction means. It means the top divided by the bottom. Same on this one, the top divided by the bottom. That's all that means. I assume someone's talking about, I don't understand the diving bit. I can only assume you mean dividing. There's some different answers to this one on the board as well. I don't think anyone's got the one right on the board yet. From looking at the numbers, I think you're a bit off there. Yeah, I do not think anyone's got the one right on the board. Let me see. Oh no, it could be wrong. No, there are some right answers there, sorry. I thought it was higher than it was going to be. No, there are definitely some correct answers for the ones on the board, well done. Right, okay, we're going to look at these, we're going to go through the one on the board carefully. So, ones on the board, I've tried to give the kind of working out as well. I'll just go through a few of these. So, straightforward, just something there. It doesn't matter what order you multiply things, and that's a really useful strategy for things. To understand an algebra as well, you can switch things around to make it easier to do. This one here, work at the two-way first. This is the kind of working out I like to write down. One part, the other part, and then add them together. You can write down more working out if you want than that. This is a minimum I would suggest. So if you make a mistake, they're going to go back and give you some marks to it. Brackets, BIDMAS, you work at the bracket first. A plus B is 10. Next to the bracket, this means two lots of the bracket. 2 times 10 is 20. Divide, top divided by the bottom. With a fraction, we always work at the top first and the bottom first and then deal with it. There's almost imaginary brackets around that bit and the bottom bit. Right, these ones. When you take away a negative, okay, if we take away a negative, we want to be crossing those out because that is the same as adding. Okay, that is something to get used to really quickly. It's very confusing to explain why. For a different lesson, yes, not for now. So that is the same as BC plus 2A. So this is 15 plus 4, which is 19. This one will go into your negatives. It's 4 take away 15. It's not 15 take away 4. So if you've got 11 for that one, you've got to think about the order it's written in. You get the 15 stuck in your head and then you try to take away 4. It's this way round. These ones, I've seen these incorrectly answered so many times. It's C squared, BIDMAS. That's the I in BIDMAS for indices. It's a C being squared, so 3 squared is 9. 2 times 9 is 18. With brackets, we're doing 2 times 3 first, which is 6, and then squaring it, which is 36. And the last one, that's wrong there, that's just say a little 3. Apologies there. 5 to the power 3, which is 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125. Not 15, you are multiplying. Right, the one on the board. So, W squared is negative 4 squared. Now, negative 4 squared means negative 4 times negative 4. Another negative number rule, when you multiply two negatives together, you end up with a positive number. To actually explain that is extremely complicated. You can use algebra for it. So you just need to trust me and trust your teachers. When you times a negative number by itself, you get 16. So we've got a 16 there, a positive 16. We are then going to take away, and we've got 3 times W times Y. So 3 times minus 4, that's a negative, so that's minus 12, because a positive times a negative gives you a negative. So minus 12. Then we're going to times minus 12 by 0.5, which is the same as halving it. So we've got minus 6 there, all over 2. We've got that double negative again, so we're going to cross those out and put a plus there. 16 plus 6 is 22. Then divide it by 2 gives you 11. People that got 11 on that, really, really good work. Okay? When that question comes up on the GCSE, less than half the people in the country without a calculator will be getting that right. Well less than half the country. Okay? Not many are going to get that right. That will be on both the foundation paper and the higher paper, so it's quite a challenging topic there. So well done people that got 11 on that. So that there is your basic substitution. That one, don't worry about it. We'll come to negative numbers, but that's definitely something to work on. If you could not understand that or follow that through, you need to be doing some work on negative numbers. And that needs to start really now. Don't wait till GCSE. If you're still in year 7, year 8, get used to working with negatives. Okay, right. So we're going to look now at making some of our own formulas up, because that's really what it's all about. So imagine you run a business where you go around to people's houses and wash their dogs. What variables would affect how much you charge for different jobs? So let's say I go to a house one day and wash some dogs, I'm going to charge some money. If I go to a house another day and wash some dogs, am I going to charge the same amount every time, or are certain things going to affect how much I'm going to charge for the job? Okay, so post your answers in the chat. What kind of things will affect how much I'm going to charge for this job? You okay?
Yeah.
So,
I ate through this with my pencil accidentally, and now I've got that. And then stick my pencil now it's just sticking on. Jack, it said far. You've got answers, keep so angry. How so angry?
get lots of sweets. Right, nice, get lots of sweets.
No,
Oh,
because
that, okay, yeah.
that's almonds.
Oh, he said sweets, yes.
Again, I like the chance.
Yes, because she's scared of him. Okay?
Because
Yeah, just give a reason for each one, that's great. Two sentences for each one. Well, if you, one more kick off on the day, and what's all your knowledge on this week? That's it. So you do it, or you don't get it. Okay, right, so let's have a look at some of these answers. Breed of dog, size of dog, distance, dirtiness of dog, how long the job takes, size and number of dogs, location, fur type, getting very complicated here. Okay, brilliant, amount of dogs. So all these would affect how much you would charge for the job. You'd be silly to just charge the same amount for one job, so we vary it. So I'm going to pick a few variables to play with. And we're going to go with this. We're going to focus on how far you travel to get there. We're going to charge 50p per mile travelled. We're going to charge £2 per dog washed. And we're going to charge £8 per hour worked. So we're looking at number of dogs. We're looking at how far away the house is that you travel to, because that's going to cost petrol money. Per dog's washed is going to cost you not just time, it's going to cost you more equipment, more dog shampoo. I have no idea about shampooing dogs, this is just an idea I came up with. And the number of hours worked, okay? Time is always money, that saying. The longer you work, the more you get paid, okay? So, how much would each of these jobs cost? So I've got two jobs there, job one, job two. So these are the kind of questions you'll get, and then we're going to reverse this and look at it in terms of algebra. So can you work at how much those jobs cost, please? You've got job one and job two. How much would you charge for these jobs? I have no idea if this is realistic. Sounds like quite a good job to me, to be honest, the amount we're making. But let's have a look at what answers we get for it. Everyone can hear you kind of in the... You just got about one more sentence about anything you want. It doesn't even about how the reason. One more sentence. Otherwise you might not believe. One more sentence. Otherwise... Well, I don't mind. One more sentence for each one. And you can go with it. That's it.
no.
Mike! What's it?
No!
Last chance. It looks like we're agreeing on £28 for the first one. A few different ones for the second one. Okay, let's have a look. So your answers are number 1. So we got 4 miles. So that's going to be 4 lots of 50p. So you do 4 times 50p. I'm going to put it in pounds, which gives me £2. We've then got 5 dogs, so it's going to be 5 times £2. It's important to know what you are doing. So always try and talk about times, add, subtract, divide when you're doing these kinds of questions. So it's £10 for the number of dogs, £8 per hour, 2 hours, 8 times 2 is going to give me £16. We add all those together, we get £28 for the first job. Job 2. Okay, this time I'm washing 6 dogs and travelling 2 miles. So I've got 6 times 2, travelling 2 miles, 2 times 0.5, and then it took me 3 hours. 3 times 8 gives me a total of 12, 1, 24. Add all that together and you've got £37. Okay, so it's using a formula. Real life formulas for this kind of stuff. And then the harder questions you get are working backwards. I'm not going to tell you how to do this. Try and have a go at those questions where we're working in reverse. Just leave the first one up there in case you needed to show how to set it out. So, not going to tell you how to do these ones. Working in reverse, definitely more challenging and can get really difficult with algebra, but we need to think about it this way first. Well, loads of correct answers to that, loads of correct answers. Bit of a hassle though, isn't it? Every time you go for a job, you've got to work it out separately. Bit of a hassle. And loving your answers with pound signs as well. It's always important to show your pound signs, to show your units.
They are big.
Which monsters are big?
Well, they don't believe it.
Because monsters...
Oh, they were big and it wouldn't fit inside the tummy.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, brilliant. We'll just have that on. You get it now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Okay.
So, can you want to pitch
Okay.
now?
So they are big and they wouldn't fit in this tummy.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, and then you can do a picture.
I think...
Yeah, I think these are whole numbers. Think about working in reverse. I'm just going to go through the first one, then you can try a similar thing with the second one if you haven't finished these yet. So, I charged £24 with this job. So I'm going to start with my £24. I'm actually going to start this way so I can go backwards. Okay? I'm going to go backwards. So the first thing I'm going to do, if I travel 2 miles to get there, okay, so 2 miles would cost me 2 times 50p, which would be £1. So I'm going to take off £1. I'm going to take that away. I'm going to take away the pound from my 2 miles. I worked 2 hours. So 2 hours would cost £8 for 1 hour. So 2 times 8 is 16. So I then need to take away £16. So I'm working in reverse, aren't I? So I'm doing 24, take away £1. Okay, is £23. Then I'm going to take away £16. Okay, so I'll take away the 2 hours worked, which gives me 24, 23. 23 take away 16 is 7. So I've got 7 left. How many dogs did I wash? Oh yeah, this is a bad question. Whoops, yeah, it's going to be 2 dogs, isn't it? Sorry, that's my fault there. Oh, terrible question. 25 would have been better. Right, try that with the second one. Let me just double check I haven't made a mistake on this one. 3 hours. It's 5. Yeah, that one's fine because that's in miles anyway. Okay, sorry about that one. So yeah, so that question would have actually been, unfortunately, that would have been 3.5 dogs. Which you don't get, do you? So 3.5 dogs would have been the actual answer for that one there. Sorry about that. Yeah, pound tip. I like that one. Whoever said 3 dogs and a pound tip. Yeah, that's a lovely way of thinking about it. So that was a very bad job. We don't want to wash half dogs. That sounds really messy. Okay, so have a go at question 2, please. Sorry about that one. Question 2 should work finally. Working backwards. Got 2 different answers. Check, careful with your adding up when you're working back from this one. So I work 3 hours. So 3 hours, okay, is going to be your £24. 10 dogs. 10 dogs is going to be 10 times 2, so that's £20. Remember, we've got £60 in total. So if you take those away. Take both of those away, you are ended up with, you've got £16 left. Okay, so your £16, it's £16 for half a mile for 50p. So to get £16 for travel, you are going to have to actually travel 32 miles. So that's a really tricky one, that last one, because £16, it's half 50p per mile, so for every £1 equals 2 miles, £2 would equal 4 miles, so £32, £16 will equal 32 miles. So a big journey, but a big payout for lots of dogs being washed. So be really careful when you are dividing by 0.5. Okay, so some challenges of that. One of the people that got 32 miles there, Stevie, Thomas, well done. Manisa for getting 32 miles there. Sorry, it's not Manisa, is it? I've forgotten your name. But some really good people there that got 32. Excellent work. Right, okay, I'm just going to have a look at why we would do this. Okay, so making a formula. So if we had 50p per mile travelled, we'd want this algebraically for a business. So we would say we're going to call C, we're going to call M equals 0.5. So that is the cost per mile. We're going to call the cost per dog D, which is £2. We're going to call the cost per hour £8. And we need to put this together in a formula. And when you're making a formula, you need to think about what you would do to work it out. So C is our cost. So our total cost is equal to, and it's how we worked it out. So every time we got our miles, okay, we times it by 0.5. So we did 0.5 m. Yep. We then added to that 2 times the number of dogs, and then we added to that 8 times the number of hours. So our formula is that there. That's our formula for how we worked it out. And then we know we replace M with the number of miles we travel, D with the number of dogs we washed, and H with how many hours we worked for. So we can substitute it all in. Now, even better than that, we don't want to be substituting each time, do we? If we were doing this dog business, and then they say, how much do we owe you? We don't want to have to work all this out every time. It takes a lot of time, we might make a mistake. So we would use, so that's our formula there, and we would use some sort of spreadsheet. Okay, and I've made a spreadsheet here. So my dog washing business is called Pristine Pooches, and what I've got here, I've got my values I charge for them there, and those are my different jobs. So on the 3rd of April, okay, I travelled 6 miles, I washed 2 dogs, it took me 2 hours. On the 10th of April, I travelled 4 miles, washed 1 dog, worked 1 hour. It's got all my jobs in there. So I want to work out C, the cost. So what I'll do is I'll tell it to do some algebra. Is I'll click here, and I'll go, well, I want to do a formula, so I press equals. And I want to do 6, which is what I said it was going to be, times by my, then I'm going to add to that number of dogs, times by my dog cost. I'm going to add to that number of hours, times by my hourly cost. Okay, and I'm just going to do something just to make sure this can scroll down. Don't worry about this bit. I'll stick on. So I'm going to stick on that one, F4. Okay, and now when I press equal enter, it works on my cost for that job. Now, even better than that, because this is a spreadsheet, it knows what I want to do. So I don't need to write that in each time. I can just take this one here and drag it down, and it works out the cost for every single job just like that. Okay, which is a brilliant thing to have for a business. I can then work out my total for how much money I've made for the whole thing by using another formula. So in total I made £249, not bad at all, £249 from washing dogs. So I would get used to using spreadsheets because it really helps your algebra as well. I could even do this. Maybe I decide, due to dog shampoo being more expensive, I need to pay more for my dogs. So I'm going to charge, instead of £2, I'm going to change this to £3. And now look what happens to all of my numbers when I press enter. Everything changes straight away. So if I'm charging more money, everything changes. So a spreadsheet is a really, really great use of algebra. And you use these so much in business, in all sorts of things. Okay. Right, so we are going to now put it into a formula. In fact, we've done plenty of that. Right, I'm going to do something a bit different to show you understanding. What I want you to do is, this is called always, sometimes, or never. All you need to do is you need to tell me whether each of these 4 little things here, these 4 bits of algebra, is it always true, is it never true, or is it sometimes true? With some sort of reason. Okay, so h plus 2 equals h plus 16. Is this always true? Is it never true, or is it sometimes true? So think about what H could be. Okay, can you make that statement true, or will it always be false? Okay, think about what you're doing with those different statements there. Okay?
Very good.
Okay, good thing. I'll check it in a bit. Hold on.
Can I
You can go next door, you can read your book, it's up to you.
also read a bit of my book in here?
Okay, so we'll look at the first one here. So h plus 2 equals h plus 16. Okay? This can never be true because h and h will always be the same. So if you put 5 in here, 5 plus 2 is not going to be the same as 5 plus 16. 10 plus 2 will not be the same as 10 plus 16. 0 plus 2 will not be the same as 0 plus 16. So this one is definitely never true. Okay? What about number 2? J plus 12 equals K plus 12. Can that one be true? Can that one ever be true? What can you make J and K so that it is true? If it is true, sometimes explain when it's true. Think about when can this one possibly be true. So if you put sometimes down, let me know when is it sometimes true. When will that possibly be true? Think about when it is. You would need to give an example. So you need to say, this one is sometimes true. I know this because, and prove that it's true. Don't just say it's sometimes true. Prove why it's sometimes true. Okay, got some good answers coming in as well, brilliant. So yeah, so I agree with this one here. So this one is true if J and K are the same. That is your reason. So if J is 5 and K is 5, it's true. If they're different, if J was 3 and K was 10, not going to be true. If J is minus 2 and K is minus 2, they're both negative 2, it will still work. Okay, so that is sometimes if J and K are the same. So that's what we're looking for here. Okay, let's have a look at number 3 and number 4. They're sometimes, always, or never true, and give your reasons. Okay, just for this one here, say these can't be the same letter. They absolutely could. What if J was the number of jugglers at a circus and K, anything with K at a circus? K was the number of karate experts at a circus. What if at this circus, they had 8 jugglers, and at this circus they had 8 karate experts? They can be the same. Just because they're different letters doesn't mean they can't be the same number. They mean different things, but they can still be the same. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, this could be legs on a cow. This could be legs on a horse. They could be the same, different animals, same answers. Kangaroos will be much better. Yes, thank you. Okay, so question 3, we'll just go through these and then we'll do a few exam questions. So question 3, this one is definitely sometimes true. Okay, it's only true in one certain occasion. Okay, it's only true when m equals 5. Because 5 squared is 25 and 5 times 5 is 25. This is sometimes true, but only in one instance, when m equals 5. And this one here is always true, because it doesn't matter which order we add things up in. Whatever 2b is, if you add 3 to it, it doesn't matter if you do 3, add whatever 2b is. Okay? So this is never, sometimes, when j and k are the same, sometimes, and always. Well done, people that have got that. This is the kind of stuff that shows proper understanding in algebra. The other stuff we've done is about practice. You practice it, you can do it. Okay? This and making your own formulas is the understanding. And this is, working on stuff like this will give you so much of a boost, and it will mean the maths you are doing is useful outside of the classroom as well. It helps you to understand problems and situations and run your own business. I cannot explain how important spreadsheets are, but to be able to make your own of them. So have a go, have a mess around with some spreadsheets and try and use some algebra with it. Okay, right, so we're going to have a go at a few algebra and a few exam questions. In fact, we're just going to do one. This is a typical example. There's 2 questions here. These are on the sheets you've got as well. Okay, so I want you to quite simply, these are 2 proper GCSE questions. Not the most difficult one, but not the easiest ones. So all you need to do is work at the value of t when b equals 2 in this bit here, and then here g equals 9, h equals 4, work at the value of 2g plus 3h. Okay, so 2 questions to finish with, and then you can do the other exam questions by yourself. These are on the printer, or just do them on the board here. Okay, so let's look at these last 2 questions, 2 exam questions, and there's some more. I've got a big range on the exam question for this yet. There are lots of different types of things to do with formulas, some with algebra, some worded. It's all the same kind of thinking. I've just pasted a link to the sheet. I'll paste it directly on this as well. It's just a worksheet of exam questions that I normally put up for the questions. If you follow that, you'll get to it, or you can just wait to the end of this and I'll put the whole, I'll attach it to this as well as an image. You can see this first one is probably easier, a lot easier than the ones we'll be doing in the grid, and this is a proper GCSE question from, I don't know, a couple of years ago or something like that. Okay, we'll just look at these to finish with, and trust me, there are some more difficult ones on the sheet you've done. So the first one here, we're doing 4 times 2, which is 8, plus your 3 on, gives you 11. Really nice and straightforward. This one here, 2 times 9 is 18, and then we're going to plus 3 times 4 on, which is 12, which gives you 30. So 2 answers there for your algebra. So please have a go at the exam questions. All right, if you want to send me that work, I can mark it, get it back to you and things like that. Algebra is really important. It's used in lots of things. I hope you've seen from the dog washing thing that it is a useful strategy to be able to use to save you time in the long run. We'll be doing next week. We'll be doing a more challenging GCSE topic than this. I'm going to try and get some more names and numbers in it as well. And we're just going to be on Monday from now on for Key Stage 3 GCSE, and then I'm also going to be trying to improve the quality by hopefully moving to YouTube from Monday. I'll give all the details, and also I'm going to get myself a microphone which is supposed to be arriving today, so you should be able to hear me a bit better. Okay, so well done, great work today everyone. Please send me in all your answers for the work, and I will check how well you've done that. I'll also post my work solutions to that by the end of the day. Okay, thank you very much, everyone.
Daddy, I want chapter 4.
Oh, very good.
4.
Key stage 2 will be tomorrow as well. So key stage 2, we've got a lesson on place value, multiplying by 10, dividing by 100, 1,000, things like that. Still GCSE relevant, to be honest. If you can't do that, I'd hope you can do that already, though. That will be on Friday as normal. And key stage 1 is as normal as well. I'm just cutting this Thursday lesson to give me more time to do some other things. Okay, bye.